path on Is It Worth It asks the question, is it worth it for the amount of electricity that you get back and put in your battery? And then the second part of the Is It Worth It asks the question, is it worth it just for the braking? So for both of the Is It Worth It questions, you have to know what kind of area are you going to be riding. If you are riding primarily in town and the braking that you're doing is stop and go, then the answer to both of those questions is no, it's not worth it. And the reason for that is because of the fact that the energy that you recover in stop and go on a bicycle is essentially the kinetic energy of motion. And the kinetic energy of motion, which as we all know from physics class is 1/2 mv squared, is not that big on a bicycle because the m is not that big and the v, even though squared, is not that big either. So the amount of energy that you get back from doing regenerative braking at a stop sign and then going is about the energy of the going part, or a fraction of that actually. So was that worth it? Answer is no. People generally find that, man, they're lucky if they get 3-4% return of energy in the city. So what about the braking? Well, again, the answer is not worth it. Because why? Because the amount of wear and tear on your brakes to stop you at stop signs and stoplights in the city is just not that much. And so yeah, regen would save you a little bit in your brakes, but not much. So is it going to make a difference? Is it worth it at all, ever? And the answer to that one is yeah, it can be. But it can be if, such as myself, you live in a mountainous area. If you live in a mountainous area and you are using your regen to slow you down on long and or steep downhill sections, which is definitely going to happen today on this ride, then you can win, and you can win on both of those questions. You can win because, unlike the kinetic energy situation in a steep long downhill, this is a little tricky.
Okay.
I had a boost up here to get around these guys. Okay. Woo! So as I was saying, unlike the kinetic energy situation, in the mountains, you're dealing with energy that has been stored as potential energy due to the change in elevation, and that is now MGH from a physics standpoint, and that can be significant if you have climbed up quite some distance. And also, long steep downhills just cook your brakes, and so instead of cooking your brakes, you can be getting a portion of that back. Okay, so that, let me see if I can get another clearing here. Yeah, I'm gonna get a clear point up here, just a little bit ahead. I'm at the top of the ridge between, so that direction over there, that's Zayante Canyon. Woo! So if you pound your way up a hill, you've stored up a lot of energy, and it's like energy stored in your battery, and what you would like to do is transfer that to your battery. And you can do that if you have regen on the way down the hill. And also in that process, it's going to be a lot easier on your brakes. For the most part, what I would like to have on my bike is the ability to, here we gotta go boost again because this is a steep part. Is the ability to flip on regenerative braking that otherwise is not engaged when I start a downhill, and have that regenerative braking hold me down to something like 10 kilometers per hour speed as I'm going downhill. It doesn't have to bring me to a stop. I'm perfectly happy to use the regular brakes to get to the stop. It's this long, thin part that's difficult. Okay, so we're gonna Vista Point here. Okay, this is this really strange house up here that's made out of metal pipes. I don't know the history, but it's probably done by some unusual person back in the past. It's been there for a long, long time, as far as I know. I suppose I could go on the internet and search for it and find out. But anyway, okay, this direction here, this is Zayante Canyon along there. That ridge you see in the distance is far on the other side of it, and there's a few more ridges after that before you get to the Pacific Ocean. That's west in that direction. We're going to be looping up around through some of this as the day goes on. But now we climb some more. I'm trying to reserve the boost for the uphills, the steep parts, and do as much of the